welcome everybody to the first Indy 500 related press conference of the year, and we're excited to have Michael Andretti and Kurt Busch join us. We've had an interesting last couple of weeks as we've tried to put this together, and a lot of thank yous go to Kurt and his gang. Michael, the entire Andretti Autosport team has done a great job coming together. Chevrolet, Firestone, a lot of folks over at IndyCar trying to make this happen. But I guess we'll start off, and Kurt, first impressions. You spent 2 days here last week in a Cup car. You come here and it's a completely different feel. What's your first thoughts after today's events?
Just an incredible feeling to be able to drive at Indianapolis in May in an Indy car and have the name Andretti on it. It was a dream come true. And to have, like you said, all the support of the engine, tires, and team to put it together, I'm thankful for that chance. And with the kid in the candy store feel early on, just getting settled in, that open cockpit is definitely a whole different game when bugs are hitting your visor instead of your windshield. That's just the little small differences. And then you quickly try to ignore those and focus on the racing line, where you need to be on the racetrack to find the comfort. And as we progress through the rookie orientation side of it, you can see why that's developed to help drivers get up to speed with the different phases of the mile an hour. And so it was I couldn't have asked for more from Ray, the lead engineer, and to have Michael standing there, and then Hinchcliffe came and put in his advice. And to have a driver like himself just sit there and try to put my mind at ease is one thing, and then you have a legend with Michael telling me what to do, and I couldn't have asked for anything better. A treat that can't be equaled, to say the least. Maybe an F1 car, but we'll just stay right here.
So, Michael, why don't you talk? This has been a whirlwind. You guys are in Brazil. This kind of comes together. Actually, while you're in Brazil, your team has gone way out of the way. Why don't you talk a little bit about the mechanics? And also, you've got a special relationship with Kurt, so It made a lot of sense for you guys to help Kurt do this. So why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it is. It's we had to put our program up a couple more days, but our guys are used to doing those sort of things, and Kyle Moyer, who runs our team, just got right on it, was all excited about it, and so when the guys are excited about it, they'll go that extra yard, and they did, and they had the car run out there, ran flawlessly, so real proud of the team. As for our relationship, it goes back. First, John Caponegro, who's my agent, manager, friend, is the same with Kurt here. So that's where it started. And last year, we were looking at getting into Cup, and we had some good conversations, and it came pretty close. So. So that's where that started, and then when John came to me about this idea, I thought, let's just figure out how to make it work, and that's what we did.
So at dinner last night, I thought it was interesting. The two of you, you talked about your hooded, fendered experience in IROC, and you're talking about the open wheel experience. Talk a little bit about, I think, a question of folks are going to have the double. There's a lot of logistical issues around the double, and it's something that's obviously we'd like to see happen here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, but Kurt, could you talk maybe a little bit about how cool would it be to do the double if somehow that could be done?
Well, this day and age, everybody wants more with motorsports, whether it's speed, whether it's side-by-side passing, whether it's just the whole spectacle that the Indy 500 draws in, and in the stock car world, our Daytona 500, on what the excitement value is. And when you have extra energy into any race, it makes it more exciting for everybody involved. So whether it's the owner side of it, the driver's side, that gets more intrigue from the sponsors. When you have the sponsors wanting to be involved, it creates that excitement level. And when you have guys wanting to do the double, they're the ones that aren't the smartest, I guess, because honestly, it's very difficult to run at your peak performance for the Coca-Cola 600. I mean, a driver can race here at Indianapolis, give a full 500 miles. That needs to be the end of his day. To run 600 miles after that, you've got to pace yourself. And I honestly think that I really wouldn't be able to do it this year just with stamina, just with not giving my all for my Furniture Row team in Charlotte. I need to get more comfortable in the IndyCar because like a day like today, I mean, I'm white-knuckled, my hands were tense, and firm, and that was only after 10 laps. And so then it started to settle in. So there's the mental side of it, there's the physical side, there's the sponsorship side that has to come together. And right now, with Kyle Moyer looking sideways at Michael wants to do it, but they've already got 5 cars committed to trying to qualify for the Indianapolis 500 this year. To crawl, then walk, and then run, I think the proper thing is to go out and experience this car at another oval track and get into a race and experience what the buffeting is and the movement of the car when all the downforce changes. Today was an ideal day. I couldn't have asked for anything better as a rookie to come to Indy and to have the track prep the way it was and then to have the perfect weather conditions.
So I'll ask one more question, then I'll turn it over to some folks here. So following up on that a little bit, so if I heard you right, if you were considered in the names of like Tony Stewart and the others that have done the double, and somebody said, Kurt Busch, you're somebody that could end up doing the double, that's something you'd like to try and do at some point in time?
Yeah, it's hard to answer. There's going to be a lot of swirling that goes on after a day like today. To reach 218 on your first day is an achievement, but it's not going to get you anywhere when it comes to racing here. And if I'm going to do something, I want to do it at the best level that I can, and so I need more time. But if my name is mentioned with guys like Tony Stewart and John Andretti, who am I missing? Robbie Gordon. It isn't a big feather in the cap, but it's something to try to go and achieve. It's something to try to just stretch yourself to the limits in the world of motorsport, and you have to do it with good teams. You just can't expect to go out there and find success right away when your whole life has been spent in a stock car. You got to give it time in an Indy car.
Michael, one more thing for you. So we talked about, when we talked about doing this, that you wanted to do a proper test. You didn't want this to be a driver swap or a stunt.
Right.
So we went through a full-on rookie test, and Kurt is licensed, and if he wanted, he could come back and run here today. He's gone through those phases. Do you want to talk about why that was important for you guys to invest the time and what you learned from taking Kurt through that process versus just coming in and giving him a few laps?
Well, I think it just was good for us. Just, we got our first laps in May, so that's always nice. And, we wanted to do it in a proper way. And we wanted to do it in a proper way mostly for Kurt. We wanted him to have a real experience. We wanted to make some changes that he could feel and start to understand a little bit more about what to expect with the car in different conditions and different setups. And, I think we were able to achieve that. So I think I would say the day went as good as we could have expected. Kurt did exactly what I thought he was going to do. He just drove exactly, the way we wanted him to do it. He did great feedback and right on pace. He built up to it nice and steady. Didn't do anything stupid, which we knew he wouldn't. And it was a really good day.
So any questions?
Kurt, in NASCAR you're driving good years and here Firestone. What's your impression with the IndyCar with the Firestone? Is there a big difference?
Yeah, that's a unique question. When I ran at Sebring 10 years ago with a Champ car, it took laps for the tires to gain temperature and to feel the comfort and the grip level in the car. Here today, Michael's telling me, hey, the tires will have grip right away, go for it. And yet, in my mind, I'm just still a little bit hesitant because it's an open wheel car and I need to ease into gaining the tire temperature. And then the other thought from my stock car world is anytime that I go back out on old tires, I know I'm going to be a half a second slower here at Indianapolis. So your brain is taught to, okay, you're on older tires, you know you can't go run that lap time anymore. And then your IndyCar instincts come in, oh wait, I'm supposed to hold it wide open. And then you got to trust the downforce and trust the tire. So the Firestones are incredible they don't drop off, even though this track is very abrasive on chewing up tires.
Kurt, can you just talk about how wild this week has been for you in terms of, you were here last week testing, now and you're down in Talladega, then you're back here testing, now you're off to Darlington?
Just being able to do what the schedule is right now is just a dream come true. Living the dream of traveling, racing cars. We've been competitive on the Cup side. To come to Indianapolis and to drive for Andretti and to get a rookie test and pass it, it's the phone's ringing right now. It feels really cool, and we'll just keep riding this wave.
Kurt, talk about how turn one maybe looks different, feels different than in a cup car, and did you have to convince yourself you had to go flat?
Today, that was the biggest transition on when you want to step into the real world. That's to hold it wide open. And when you do that, your brain says, wait a minute, you're not supposed to do that because of the stock car, how heavy it is, and the lack of downforce. So when I did hold it wide open, I was off on my line, actually apex too early, had extra wheel input on exit, and it changed the game. But then once I left it on the floor, the car started to come back to me, and the pace started to slow down in my mind, even though the pace kept getting quicker with lap time.
Michael, every May, my father reminds me that your father won the Daytona 500. It's an ongoing dialogue. It'll happen for years and years to come. We also talk about the double, things of that nature. Put your promoter's cap on. You've quietly become a very successful promoter in addition to your other accomplishments in motorsports. Do we have to look at a double? Why can't we look at perhaps bringing the best of NASCAR here on a separate date, running Indy cars, and then taking the Indy guys down to, say, a Daytona, having more of an even field and not asking guys to drive 1,100 miles in one day?
Well, I think that sounds great on paper, but the logistics of that happening are almost impossible, unfortunately. It'd be really difficult to get, first of all the teams to agree on both sides for that to happen, for NASCAR to agree, to IndyCar agree. I mean, it would be so much that you'd have to get, logistically wise to make it happen that I think it'd be pretty tough. But it'd be cool if it could actually happen that way.
Kurt, when you started with the IndyCar, did you immediately recognize you have to drive a different race line like in a sprint car, or is it more or less identical?
Each corner demands a later apex, and so you're hanging it out wider, right where the marbles would be with a NASCAR car. That's where the right side tires are with the Indy car, and you just do a later apex each of the four corners.
All right, great. Well, thank you, Michael and Kurt, for being here. Appreciate everybody coming out tonight or today, and hopefully we'll see you back here soon in open wheel car.
Thank
Great.
you.
Thank
Thanks.
you.